Hi, how are you? I'm Katie Gates, and today I just want to share a quick testimony with you regarding unanswered prayers. There's a lot of us who feel as though God is not listening to us. He's not hearing our prayers. You're saying to yourself, well, you know what? I've been praying for years about the situation. I've been praying for years about the pain that I went through as a child or as a young adult. I've asked for forgiveness and I've prayed and I've prayed and I've prayed and I've prayed, and my prayer is still not answered. And you're asking yourself, is God even hearing me? Does he even care to answer my prayers? Is he even real? But today I'm here to tell you that God is real, and I'm here to tell you to wait and to persevere. Keep moving forward. Keep having faith. Don't question your faith. Don't stop believing, because I can assure you that God is very real, and I can assure you that when it comes to prayers, they don't go unanswered. Sometimes we get the answer and it may not be the answer that we want. And so whenever we get that answer, and because it doesn't look like the answer that we wanted, or it doesn't look like something that we expected to get from God, or the solution that we expected, we then look at God and be like, oh no, that's not for me. That's not what I prayed for. That's not who or what I was expecting to come and give me relief, because God sends people, not all the time, but sometimes, to give you relief. But because that person does not look like what you think that person should look like, or because that person does not sound like what you think that person should sound like, you're like, nope, not that. That's not what I was expecting. No. So therefore, the prayer that you thought was not answered, it was answered, but you just refused to take the solution that God had provided for you. So now you're going to have to wait again. So just because something looks a certain way or sounds a certain way, don't shun it away because it doesn't look like what it is that you want it to look like. Now, my testimony that I want to share with you, and I pray that this helps somebody. As you all know, that I was sexually molested when I was a girl. And if you don't know, well, now you know. And I faced some other sexual issues when I was a girl, rejection and all types of things that could come in and just disrupt a girl's life. I faced those things. I remember praying to God as a girl. I think it happened to me when I was maybe 10 or 11 years old. And I was so hurt, both physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was so confused. I was so ashamed and embarrassed. Although I did nothing wrong, I was so ashamed and so embarrassed. And I'm praying to God because I've developed all of this anger, like this rage in me, because what I wanted to say in me was buried in me. It was just secretly in me. It was almost as if it was like a gas waiting to just explode. The lid was on it, but I couldn't open the lid. I had to keep it inside. So that turned into anger. So I became very angry, very confused. I was just a big ball of rage is what I was, because I did not understand. And I remember praying to God, no, Father, please relieve me from this. Because even as a girl, praise God, my mother had me going to church, and she was teaching me about God. And I'm just so thankful for her for doing that. I knew God was real. Even as a girl, I had seen some things, so I knew God was real. That there has got to be a God. There's no other explanations for the things that I had seen in my life. So here I am praying, praying, praying. I mean, years went by. I'm praying for relief. I'm praying for, this weight to be removed from me, this shame to be just ripped away from me, because that's the power of God. So long story short, if you have been praying, you say, well, I started praying last week, I asked God for this last month, and I asked God for this last year. Let me tell you, that happened to me when I was around 10 and then 11. I just received full relief 2 years ago. I'm 41 years old. So you do the math. You do the math. Between 10 and 11, I'm praying after it happened to me. All of those years go by. Okay, God, I know you hear me. Because my faith is going to stay no matter what. Because I knew it was a God. I've always known there was a God. So I knew he heard me. So what's going on, right? Because we're all human. We've all been there, done that. So I was like, what's going on? Years went by. Years went by. I still had that pain. And even though I walked with my head held high and I was this beautiful figure to everybody else's eyes, and to myself as well, inside I had shame because of what happened to me, although it was not my fault. But see, that's the power of shame. That's the power of that spirit. It makes you kind of draw back and it silences you. And so that's what happened to me. So 10 and 11 years old, and my prayer for, full relief, for that thing to just be ripped away from me, for God to come in and do whole healing. I'm talking whole healing. Just happened 2 years ago, or a little over 2 years ago. And like I said, I'm 41. So if you are praying and you're saying, God is not answering my prayers, he's not hearing me, he's not listening, just know that God hears you. He has not forgotten about you. He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. He is listening. I know for me, everything aligned beautifully. And I have to be honest with you. Let me be real honest. I'm glad that God did not answer my prayer sooner. And I know you're saying, well, that's crazy. It sounds crazy. But I'm glad that God did not answer my prayer sooner, because everything aligned for the will, for his good. It all came together perfectly. He relieved me. And then now where he's taking my life and the things that he's doing for my life, everything aligned perfectly. I can tell you, I think that if he had answered my prayer before, I don't know, for me, not for him, but for me, I don't know if everything would have aligned the way it's happening now, because we know that God's timing is perfect timing, which is why he did not answer my prayer any sooner than a little over 2 years ago. And I have another testimony. The same thing happened, y'all. I was rejected as a child. My father, my biological father, was not in my life. Really had nothing to do with me. I seen him, wave, but he was not in my life. He was not my caretaker. He did not support me. So that hurt me, really, really devastated me, because I saw other children come into the mix, and you know how that goes. And so that hurts a child. And so I was very hurt about that. And some other things that happened with his side of the family. I was very hurt. And here I am praying as a girl, I just want my dad to love me. I just want my dad to want me. Not just love me, but to want me and to be there and to raise me. I just want this and I just want that when it came to my dad and when it came to that side of the family. Never happened. Never happened. But I could tell that when my father looked at me, when I became an adult woman, when my father looked at me, I could see the regret in his eyes. I could see the sheer regret in his eyes. And so to this day, I love my father, and I'm so thankful for what he did before he ended up leaving the earth. God sent him to me. I was at work, the same place where I received healing from molestation when I was a girl. I received healing at the same place. I was at work and my dad came, and give me just one moment. Okay, I thought my camera had went out. Excuse me. I was at work and my dad came in and he said, "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I was like, "Yeah, I wasn't busy." And he apologized to me, and he told me if I could go back and redo it, I'd fix it. I'd make it right. I remember he also went to my mother and he apologized to her. All the things that I had prayed for this man to do, he did. And one day, this was like maybe 4.5 years ago or 5 years ago now. He did in one day. And I was praying from a girl. So just know that God hears you. He is listening. Don't waver in your faith. Keep the faith. Stand strong. Believe in God. Don't doubt his power. Don't doubt his effectiveness. Don't doubt his ability to relieve and release you from the things that keep you bound. Better yet, don't allow them to keep you bound. If you truly release them to God, to the hands of God, he is going to show up and show out for you. I can promise you that. It happened to me, and I'm talking big show out. My mind was blown. So just wait. Persevere. Straight ahead. Don't look to the left, right, or behind you. Keep moving. It's the message I've been given to share with you. Keep moving. Don't stop. So I just hope that this video helps someone. I love you all so much. Wait on God. Wait on God. He hears you. I love you. I'm praying for you. Have a blessed, and beautiful day. Bye.